You know that feeling? It usually hits around 11:30 on a Sunday night,
Oh, yeah.
or maybe right after a big holiday meal, and you just decide, okay, that's it. Everything changes
The
tomorrow.
big declaration.
Yes. You're waiting for that movie music to swell. You feel this surge of motivation. You're ready to turn your life around in a glorious 3-minute montage.
Ah, the Rocky montage
Hmm.
effect. We all want the transformation, but we want it, condensed into a catchy song.
Skipping all the actual work.
All the sweating and the monotony, yeah.
Exactly. But then, inevitably, Monday morning rolls around, the alarm goes off, it's raining, you're tired, and that massive life overhaul, well, it feels impossible.
And that's the universal human experience of trying to rely on willpower. It's this huge misconception that big changes require these huge, explosive amounts of energy.
Right, an earth-shattering event. But today, we're flipping that idea on its head. We're diving into a philosophy that argues life doesn't change through explosions. It changes through the quiet and, let's be honest, kind of boring, shifting of tiny habits.
It's about the architecture of your daily life. It's not sexy, it's not loud, but it is so effective.
We are doing a deep dive into Atomic Habits by James Clear. And look, I know what you're thinking.
A book about habits.
Yeah. Is this going to be about organizing my sock drawer? But this isn't about tidying up.
Right.
This is about the fundamental mechanics of how we operate.
At work, in our health, our relationships, everything. What I love about his work is it deconstructs the psychology of why we fail.
It moves away from that heroic effort model.
Exactly, where you have to be this superhero of discipline. It moves towards something that's actually sustainable for, normal, tired human beings.
So let's get into it. The book opens with a concept that sounds good on a bumper sticker, but is actually really hard to grasp. And it's that small habits are never small.
Right. This is the core argument. We have to talk about the math of the 1%.
Okay, lay it out. Because honestly, if I get 1% better at something today, let's say playing the guitar, nobody notices. I don't even notice.
And that is the trap. In the short term, 1% is. It's unimpressive. But Clear uses the concept of compounding. It's just like compound interest in finance.
Okay.
If you get just 1% better at something each day for 1 year, you end up 37 times better by the time you're done.
37 times. It sounds like a fake number.
It's the math of exponential growth.
Yeah.
And conversely, if you get 1% worse every day, you decline nearly down to 0.
Wow.
But there's a great real-world example in the book, the British cycling team.
I feel like I've heard this, but remind me.
So for about 100 years, British cycling was, well, mediocre,
Right. Not winning much.
almost nothing.
Yeah.
Then they hired a guy named Dave Brailsford. And he didn't come in and say, we need to train twice as hard.
The big dramatic speech.
No. He focused on what he called the aggregation of marginal gains.
Which is just fancy talk for the 1% rule.
Exactly. They redesigned the bike seats to be a little more comfortable. They rubbed alcohol on the tires for a tiny bit better grip. They even painted the inside of the team truck white
Wait. Why paint the truck white? How does that help you win a bike race?
so they could spot little specks of dust that might degrade the performance of these finely tuned bikes.
That sounds obsessive.
It sounds obsessive, maybe a little crazy.
Yeah.
But when you added up hundreds of these tiny 1% improvements, British cycling just dominated the Olympics. They didn't find one big thing. They found 1,000 little things.
Okay, but here's the problem, and I think this is where I get stuck, and probably a lot of our listeners do too. When you're in that early phase doing that 1% work, you don't see the gold medals.
No.
You just see dust in a white truck. You see nothing.
Claret calls this the plateau of latent potential. And this is so crucial because this is where people quit.
Right.
We expect progress to be linear.
Yeah.
I put in X amount of work, I get Y result immediately. But habits don't work that way.
He uses that ice cube analogy, right? I loved this.
Yes. So imagine an ice cube on a table. The room is 25 degrees. You slowly heat the room up. 26 degrees, 27, 28. The ice cube is still just sitting there.
Looks exactly the same. All that work, zero evidence of success.
And that's when you say, this heating thing is a scam. I quit.
Totally.
But you keep going. 29, 30, 31. Still nothing. But then you hit 32 degrees, and suddenly the ice begins to melt. Now, was it that one last degree that melted the ice?
No, of course not. It was all the energy stored up from before.
Precisely. All the work you do while you're in that valley of disappointment, that plateau, it's just stored energy. You aren't failing. You're just building up the temperature to 32 degrees.
I think that's going to be really comforting for people to hear. But this leads us to the second big lesson, and I have to admit, I struggled with this one a little at first. It's the idea of identity shifting versus goal setting.
This is really big psychological pivot. Most of us are obsessed with goals. We're taught to set smart goals, right?
Oh, totally. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to run a marathon. It's always about the finish line.
The book argues that's a problem, because goals focus on what you want to achieve. True, lasting change comes from focusing on who you want to become. It's a shift from outcome to identity.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here. Isn't that just fake it till you make it? If I'm on the couch eating chips and I say I am an athlete, I'm just lying to myself.
That's a great question, because if you just say it, yes, it's a lie. Affirmations without evidence are, well, they're delusions. But Clear introduces this brilliant metaphor of voting.
The election metaphor. I have this highlighted. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
That's the key. You don't have to be perfect. In an election, you don't need 100% of the votes to win. You just need a majority.
So if I put the chips down and I eat an apple, I just cast a vote.
You cast a vote for the identity of someone who eats healthy. If you go to the gym, even for just 20 minutes, you cast a vote for, I am an athlete.
So you're proving it to yourself, with evidence.
You're building a body of evidence. Think about two people trying to quit smoking. Someone offers them a cigarette. Person A says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit.
That sounds reasonable.
It does. But person B says, no thanks, I'm not a smoker.
Ooh, I see the difference. Person A still identifies as a smoker who is struggling.
Right. But person B has already changed their identity. And when your behavior aligns with your identity, you stop fighting yourself. If you believe, I am a reader, then picking up a book isn't some chore you have to force.
It's just what you do. It's who you are. It sounds so much more sustainable than just, white-knuckling it. Because if you're just chasing a goal, like running that marathon, what happens the day after the race?
You stop running, usually.
Yeah.
The goal is gone. But if your identity is, I'm a runner, the race was just an event. The running continues.
Okay, I'm sold. But let's be real. I'm also a person who is easily distracted and loves junk food. I can vote for the healthy person identity all I want, but if there's a pizza in the kitchen,
The pizza usually wins the election.
the pizza wins. Which is the perfect segue to lesson 3, designing the environment.
This is where we stop relying on our internal strength and start looking at our external world.
This is basically make the lazy choice the smart choice. Right.
In a way, yes, we have this myth that disciplined people have these massive reserves of willpower. But the research shows that's not really true.
Wait, really? So the person who goes to the gym every day doesn't have more willpower than me?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
They're just better at designing their life so they don't have to use willpower.
Okay.
Willpower is a battery. It drains. If you have to fight the urge to eat a cookie every time you walk into the kitchen, eventually
I feel attacked. Eventually, you're going to eat the cookie.
it wins because it's there. The lesson is make good habits easy, and for bad habits, make them invisible.
So instead of trying to resist the cookies on the counter,
Get rid of them or put them on the highest shelves of the garage. If you have to walk to the garage to get a snack, you're increasing the friction.
friction, that's the key word.
Yes. Increase friction for bad habits, decrease it for good ones. Take your guitar example.
Yeah.
If your guitar is, in its case, in the closet, in the guest room.
I'm never going to play it. It takes 2 minutes just to get it out.
Exactly. But if you buy a stand and put that guitar right in the middle of your living room, you'll pick it up. You've removed the friction.
This applies to digital stuff too, right? Like, if I leave my phone on my desk while I'm trying to write, I check it constantly.
That's a cue. The phone buzzes, the screen lights up, and you react. The design fix is to just leave the phone in another room.
It sounds so simple, but we resist it. We think, no, I should be strong enough to ignore it.
And that's the ego talking.
Yeah.
Clear is a great line. Discipline is good. Environment is better. Why fight a battle every single day? Just change the room so the battle doesn't exist.
I love that. Stop trying to be a hero. Just be a better architect.
But, okay, even if I've set up my environment, there are still days where I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. Motivation is zero.
And this brings us to lesson 4. Systems beat motivation. Or as I like to call it, motivation is garbage.
Well, maybe fickle is a better word. It comes and goes. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will never be consistent enough to see results.
There's a fascinating point in the book about winners and losers. This kind of blew my mind.
It's a logical slam dunk. In any competition, say the Olympics, every single athlete has the same goal.
Right. To win the gold medal, no one shows up hoping for 12th place.
So if the winners and the losers have the exact same goal, then the goal cannot be the thing that differentiates them.
Whoa, okay, say that again. Because we always assume the winner just wanted it more.
The goal isn't the variable. They both have it. The difference is the system they implemented to get there. The training schedule, the nutrition, the recovery, the daily habits.
And there's that famous quote from the book. I feel like I need to tattoo this on my forehead.
You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
You fall to the level of your systems. That is terrifying, but it's also incredibly liberating.
Liberating. How so?
Because it takes the pressure off wanting it enough. I don't need to generate passion every morning. I just need to follow my checklist.
Exactly. It removes decision fatigue.
Yeah.
If your system is, I go to the gym on Tuesday at 5 p.m., then when Tuesday at 5 p.m. comes, you don't have to decide anything. The decision was already made. You just execute.
You become a robot for your own success.
In the best possible way. You build the machine, and then you let the machine drive you.
But, and I know people are thinking, this machine's break. We're human. We get sick, we go on vacation, we have a terrible day and just eat pizza and skip the gym. What happens when the system fails?
And this is where people spiral. They miss one day, and they think, well, this drink is over. I failed. Might as well give up.
The what the hell effect. I ate one cookie, so I might as well eat the whole box.
Precisely. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most forgiving lesson, the 2-day rule.
I love this rule. It feels like permission to be human.
It counters that trap of perfectionism. The rule is simple. Never miss twice.
Break that down.
Missing a habit once is an accident. It happens. You're busy, you're sick. It's just a data point. But missing twice, that is the start of a new habit.
That's the danger zone. 1 missed workout is a fluke. 2 missed workouts is the beginning of a sedentary lifestyle.
Exactly. The key distinction here is consistency over perfection. You don't have to be perfect to get that compound interest we talked about. You just have to be consistent.
So the win isn't about never falling off the wagon. The win is about how fast you get back on.
Yes. It's all about recovery time. If you mess up, your only job is to get back to the habit immediately. The next meal, the next morning. Don't let a slip become a slide.
It's resilience. It circles right back to that voting metaphor, doesn't it?
It does. So maybe you cast a vote for the lazy identity yesterday. Okay, that happened. Today, you cast a vote for the healthy identity. You just need to win the majority of the votes, not all of them.
I think that's what makes this whole approach so powerful. It stops looking for a magic bullet. We've got the 1% compounding, the identity shift, environment design, systems over goals, and the 2-day rule.
It's a complete framework. And notice what isn't in there.
What's that?
There's no get hyped. There's no dig deep and find your inner warrior.
Yeah, there's no screaming drill sergeant in this philosophy. It's very quiet.
It is. The synthesis of Atomic Habits is that you don't change your life overnight. You change it quietly, one habit at a time. It's almost stealthy. You sort of sneak up on the better version of yourself.
I like that. You're sneaking up on success. And this applies to everything, right? This isn't just for losing weight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is for your career, building a habit of deep work. It's for your finances, a habit of saving a tiny amount automatically. For your relationships, a habit of just saying thank you. It's a universal operating system for improvement.
So if you're listening right now, maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by where you want to go, stop looking at the top of the mountain. Just look at your feet.
And make sure the ground right in front of your feet is clear so you can take that next step.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought based on that identity concept we talked about. Something to mull over today.
We talked about voting.
Right. Think about the last 24 hours of your life. Every small thing you did, what you ate, how you spent your time, how you spoke to people, it was all a vote. Who did you just vote to become?
And if you don't like the winner of today's election,
The polls open again tomorrow morning.
that is a powerful thought.
Embrace the quiet change, everyone. Don't look for the explosion. Look for the 1%. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.